on defenders of our critical infrastructure, we extensively talked about transport infrastructure and the role of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, that's the NSCDC, in protecting transport infrastructures. And yes, this week on the program, we are also going to be talking about another different topic, and it is something that concerns every Nigerian, and it is something that a member of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is here to extensively talk about. And as usual, we'll also give you opportunity to call in and then ask questions or make contributions to the program. Now, the issue of vandalism is an act that disrupts the progress of communities. It plays down on the integrity of people and it jeopardizes the economy of the nation. Oil pipeline vandalism is a subject that has contributed to the discussions of a lot of Nigerians. And the reason being is that securing and maintaining such government assets plays a vital role in a nation's development process. And for a nation like Nigeria, crude oil remains the central point to which Nigeria depends largely on for survival. Apart from other revenue-generating natural resources in Nigeria, we all know that crude oil is one that the Nigerian economy has been living on for a very long period of time. Oil constitutes the major source of revenue in the Federal Republic of Nigeria through its exportation to other countries of the world. Now, therefore, as the eradication of the crime of oil pipeline vandalism is very crucial, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is saddled with the responsibility of protecting and preventing vandalism of major government infrastructure, including the oil pipelines. Yes, and this brings us to our topic of discussion on today's edition of Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructure. Today on the program, we would be talking about the role of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in curbing oil thefts and illegal bunkering. And for those that have been listening and watching to the program, you know on every edition, we always have a member of the NSCDC to talk extensively on whatsoever topic we would be talking about. And to add illumination to that is the Assistant Commander General of the Operations NSCDC, that is Phillips Ayuba. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much
yes,
for inviting me.
You're welcome to the program. And today with him, we are going to be talking extensively about the issue of oil thefts, yes, vandalism of oil pipelines, and how the NSCDC has so far been discharging its responsibilities in protecting this critical national infrastructure. Yes, welcome back to the program, Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructure. And yes, we are going to begin by defining most of these terms here. First of all, we talked about oil bunkering and oil theft. Can you shed more light on this? What is oil bunkering? What is oil theft?
Well, I think the word oil theft and oil bunkering. Oil bunkering constitute all the aspects, which include the theft aspect, the processing of the oil, that is the crude, by the bunkerers. And you can see that the bunkering itself is stealing and going to refine it in a local way. Make it bunkering. The theft is breaking the pipe and then stealing the oil. That's the aspect of the theft. And then while the bunkering is the process that is involved all over.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
Okay, oil bunkering and oil theft. Yes, and he wants to ask, how does this oil theft work? How does it work? Who are the people involved? Who are the principal players in oil theft?
Well, I think this thing has to be with a very big cartel. And these are issues, I think, that has been happening for long here in Nigeria, that people have seen it that it's an act that they can do to survive. And people have taken it as a major job here in Nigeria. And I am sure it has caused a lot of disadvantage to people because we have been able to find out that some of these people who go to do the bunkering don't survive it at times. By the time the pipes are broken, you will find that there are flames that will consume lives.
Yes, explosions.
And we should know that is a very serious this thing. The aspect, those who are doing it largely, maybe are people who cannot see. because some thefts are done on the high sea. The high sea, while the ones that we just see are just local ones. There are those who don't have more strength. And you know that those who go on the high sea, I think for somebody even to go to the high sea with a vessel, you should know it's well done.
It's rooted in the business.
Rooted in the business. While those who you see just cooking the oil around, the bunkers here are just the ones you just see, and they are just like local bunkers. So I think it involves different group of people.
Okay.
The dons, and even those who are maybe within the middle class, and then the lower class, because those who do the work are laborers, are those of the lower class, and they are doing that just to find something to feed themselves. That's how I feel. So, in a nutshell, those who are involved are people who are greedy, who don't want the development of the country, though they may be doing it for a purpose, and that purpose is because maybe they are looking for satisfaction in everything they're trying to do. So we believe, though it's a bad thing, but I'm sure when the government want to stem it down, they will do. And I think we are all in the process of making sure that is stopped completely.
Okay.
That's what I think
Okay.
it should do.
So I know for any act of crime, there is always a punishment attached to that act. Before I go into asking what has the NSCDC done so far in making sure that this issue is brought to the barest minimum, what are the punishments attached to any individual that is caught vandalizing oil pipelines or is involved in oil theft and bunkering?
I thank God for this question. Initially, when we came on board, we were, by our mandate, that is the principal act, we were asked to arrest and hand over to the police. But when our act was amended in 2007, we were given the powers to prosecute them. And they said the process should be maybe taken to the coffers of the government. So that's say if you are caught in that act, it is the courts that decide, and I am sure the punishment is supposed to be 27 years imprisonment.
Okay.
But it's so determined on the gravity of the offense,
Yes.
which of course the court are the ones who are supposed to determine. None of us can determine. Ours is to make sure that the case is properly investigated and taken to court for prosecution.
Okay. So the NSCDC is concerned with taking care of critical infrastructures in Nigeria. And so far we have been talking about different critical infrastructures and how the NSCDC has been trying its very best to protect this critical infrastructure. And we know that pipelines for crude oil is one of Nigerians' way of generating revenue.
Yes.
And as such, the pipelines are very, very important. So how has the NSCDC been successful in protecting these critical infrastructures?
I'm sure we have been doing our best, and you cannot go more than what you have. The government, I think some few days, out of its magnanimity, made provision of boats. The purpose of those boats is to make sure that activities of vandals are curtailed. And this pipeline that you're talking about are pipelines that are laid down for the purpose of allowing the flow of the crude oil to wherever it's going to, or the fuel. So if they are tampered with, you will find out that they are sabotaging the effort of the government towards utilizing the facilities the citizens will use. So on that basis, we were given these boats, the boats by the government, which the minister commissioned yesterday for the purpose of being on the sea, on the waterways, to make sure who vandalize or break pipes and now decide to treat this crude oil for the purpose of coming out to sell it to people. You know, at times, if they decide to refine it, it has a standard. Some standard are met and some standard will go below.
Yes.
And they will not be good for particular movement. So by giving us the boats now, it will enable us to be on the sea and make sure all the waterways are protected and no refined oil that's locally refined is allowed to move
Into the market.
on the waterways. So it is assuming that all the jetties, the waterways by now will be blocked by the men of the NSCDC. And let me add this. We have done some good works on this issue of arrest. The CG in his own way, that is Dr. Ahmed Audi,
Yes.
PhD, MNI,
The achiever.
yes, has created some squad. We have intelligence squad, that is special intelligence squad. And we also have another special squad that is anti-vandal squad. And I want to assure you they have performed excellently well. Sometimes I think Lagos, was it around no more than 2 months?
Okay.
The arrest that was made was more than 50. And then around Port Harcourt, I think they are uncountable. I cannot be able to give you that number, but I think they don't have, they should have up to 100. So you can see in our own way, we are trying our best. And in Lagos too, a very good catches were made that I will not be able to give you data. If I was told I was coming for specially to give all these data, I would have run them down for you here. But I'm sure, the people who sees it know whether we are doing well or we are not doing well. I don't want to comment more than that because I may say, and people will not be able to appreciate because it is coming from me who is doing the job. But I know I'm supposed to, maybe they said I am supposed to advertise myself, but I don't want to do it. I want the people outside to say whether we are doing it well or not.
And they will definitely call into.
So
There's no problem. We're here because if we have not done, I will not be out to say whether we have done it. I don't want to talk much so that I want them to ask so that I can give them what they want.
Yes. ACG, I have a question for you. When you were talking about the protection of the waterways with the new gunboats that the federal government gave to Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, you make mention of protecting the bunkers when they do the bunkering. They refine it locally before taking it out of the high sea. Is there any refinery that is on the high sea that they use to refine, or is it a chemical they use in refining the crude before they can now take it out?
I'm sure if you have ever been around the Niger Delta area, the pollution will tell you that that place is not even habitable for human beings. I stayed in Port Harcourt, the suits. Within the period I stayed, the hotel I was even staying before I got the house. Early in the morning, you use water to mop your house. By the time you are back in the evening, you still need water with Omo and whatever to also mop your house before you go. And when you use shoes in the morning, whether it's a slipper to maybe step on the floor, you still see the mark of what you are there, what is there. But I think for now, there's a massive reduction with the step taken by the state government and also the federal government. You can see there's an aggressive chase to those who are into that business of bunkering and illegal vandalization and so on. Efforts are required for all of us to come together to make sure, if you know somebody who is doing it, I think for our safety, we should be able to tell the security personnel that so person is involved so that we can stop that. It is not helping the economy. It is not helping us. And you can see now everybody's crying no money. And every time we are told because of vandalization, you can see the effect of it. And like I said, in other countries, when somebody says this guy have vandalized something that people will use, what people should be able to utilize, that is being designed, or a project that is designed by government for people to enjoy, and you now go and vandalize it. People will look at what kind of person is this. But here in Nigeria, we see it as a pleasure. Even people derive pleasure in trying to vandalize facilities that people are supposed to utilize, that government have committed money into it to make sure people enjoy it, is very serious. This aspect of vandalism does not only remain even with the issue of only pipelines. You see people breaking roads because they want to maybe lay pipes and pipes. Yet, it is very difficult for you to be able to know whether they are certain the proper papers. And what would have been the agreement that they reached before doing that? All those aspects, government is supposed to look into. We need to be empowered more so that we can give more. That's what I want to say. It's not even all that. The light issue, whatever affects the pipeline also affects light. Because some who utilize light, you see we don't have work now today. Even barbers, if we have light regularly, you will find out that people will have some things to do. Those who are doing barbering work, saloon and whatever, can always do it, and you see that there's employment. But when people go to vandalize light, you see there's no progress. It will take you months before you see light. Well, even when you take the complaint to NEPA and whatever, you will find out that before they will come there, the demands may be the one that the community cannot be able to solve. So it will take them a longer period of time before they will be able to meet up with that. So vandalization, it itself is about sabotage to the economy. And even aside that, it kills. It destroys people's life. Aside the sabotage. If you miss somebody or you lost somebody as a result of that, it's not a good news. So it behoves on us. Despite the fact that civil defense are trying to curtail that, they are still appealing to people to reach us. Even when they know somebody who's engaged, they should get us on phone. We are aware that it is very difficult for people to divulge information to security agencies, but we are not like others. When you give us, you will not hear from anybody. We will do what is expected to be done. And what is expected to be done is to make sure that we try to get you and take you to the appropriate authority where you can be able to answer properly. So that's what I think is there.
Yes, ACG, the oil theft is an organized crime, ridding the nation of accurate revenue running to millions of dollars annually. What is the civil defense doing to curtail this organized crime that is really taking the nation backward?
These crimes that are millions of dollars, let me just say the civil defense up to now, we are still trying to come up. And for now, I don't think we'll have any, let me just say like a big ship that can be able to reach the high sea. And this high theft or high classified theft that has to do with dollars is normally on the high sea, where you can find other security agencies. We just have to beacon and say we want to ask that. Though we have been collaborating with the Navy, whenever there's an arrest, they hand it over to civil defense and will prosecute. So we still ask that the government, federal government, should try to make sure more, we should be given better ships that can go to the high sea so that we can help the Navy do that. We know the Navy are protecting our waterways. Yes. I do know also that the Navy don't allow any ship from anywhere to follow a route that the ship
has not been approved for.
Has not been approved for them. So if we are giving better, let me say, ships that can go to the high sea, we also have the Navy to control that issue of maybe this step that has to do with bigger vessels. We can stop them. But you know, since we don't have those facilities, it's very difficult for us to be able to reach out until when we are given, maybe if the arrest is made by the Navy, then we'll have the opportunity of getting it. But if it's not made by the Navy, that's what we can do. Yes. So that's what I think
Yeah, for the
You have to
federal government that just gave some gunboats to Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps,
Yes.
what you're saying, ACG, is that the federal government should do more and
Should
give
do
you more sophisticated
Yes.
equipment like ships that has to do with the high sea
That can
to
be able
curtail
to reach
those
the high sea,
organized
yes.
crime that is going on the high sea.
Yes. I think that's my view.
Okay.
If that is done, I'm sure it will go a long way by helping us to be able to work also and reduce the rate of the bunkering activities.
Okay, so during your while you were answering some of the questions, you had also mentioned the challenges that the NSCDC faces, such as lack of equipment to ensure that this crime is being fought. So I'll still ask you, besides lack of equipment to stand up to these individuals involved in this crime, what are other challenges that the NSCDC faces?
I think the challenge we have is just like any other security agency. One, we need to collaborate together. You know, our problem here in Nigeria is the issue of superiority. And that's why I think, let me just say, we want to also ask that ability to come together and see ourselves as working for one family should be there.
Okay.
If we are allowed to do so without looking that I'm the only one that should do so, because if there's a snake here or any animal that's supposed to kill any of us, I think what we do is that whoever kills it, we will all be happy. So I think we have something that develop
A common goal.
a common goal that we're fighting for. But to reach it, everyone
Want to take
of
the
us
glory.
want to take the glory. I want to be. I'm the one who did it. So if we go as a team, work together, and we get that, everybody will know that we are safe. It is bedeviling us, and since it is bedeviling us, anyone that's able to stand and then get it correct, everyone in the country will be happy.
Yes.
It's just like this issue of kidnappers. Nobody will say, if you are a civilian, you happen to see a kidnapper and you arrest him, you say you have done the bad thing.
No, not at all.
But that is how I believe we are supposed to relate. We should see one.
That
Once you
synergy
just get it,
between
that
the
synergy
sisters
should be together,
agencies.
so that we'll be able to progress, because we are not working for ourselves, we are working for ourselves and the country.
Yes.
I think that's the position I want to take
Okay.
or ask for.
Okay. All right. Yes, Nigerians and dearest listeners, this is still Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructure. And for those just joining us, we have ACG Operations, NSCDC, and he has been talking to us about the role of the NSCDC in curbing oil theft and illegal bunkering in Nigeria. And my name is Harirat Ismaila, and I'm not alone. Yes, I have my co-anchor here, Amina Ibrahim, in this studio. Yes, you know how we do it on the program. We are also going to give you opportunity to call in and then ask questions. The number is 081-8889-1011. But that would be after we come back from this commercial break. So stay tuned.
My people, oh, how e dey be for body make you sit down dey look bulldozer make dem come scatter demolish that your fine house abi na estate abi na plaza sef wey be say e no get paper. Chai, e dey pain for body o. Na so the FCT administration sef dey feel am. See, no government go dey happy making people belle dey spoil sake of say dem dey scatter demolish dem property. You wan buy land? Make you no buy land from indigent dem abi na local chief dem abi any person wey be say no be government, because if you do am so, kasala fit burst for the matter and your money fit loss. Na only minister of FCT dey give land for Abuja o. If you know say you wan buy land, make you go Abuja Geographic Information System wey all of us know as AGIS, make you go collect form. Kuma, make you go FCDA Mass Housing Department to make sure say any property wey you wan buy inside housing estate for inside this Abuja get correct paper o. Make you no fall mumu. do the correct thing. Na the Federal Capital Territory Administration dey knack us this story.
For Taj Bank, we dey serve you well. Without any interest money solution for your business, family and lifestyle, you don't get better partner wey tanda for your back gidigba. No shaking at all. That partner we go take care of all your money palava, no wahala. Make you come see happiness and joy when you carry your 2-leg waka enter any of we Taj Bank office wey dey for plot 72 Amadu Bello Way, Central Business District, Abuja. Senate Building for National Assembly, Wuse Market, Gudu Electrical Market, Garkitu Model Market, and AA Rano for Airport Road for Abuja. My bank, your bank, our bank. Taj Bank, our only interest, na you.
All right, welcome back to Human Rights Radio and Television, the station that redefines broadcasting. And before that commercial break, we were talking about protecting our critical infrastructures, and as such, we've channeled the topic to protecting oil pipes, yes, pipeline vandalism. And we have a member of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps who has been doing justice to that topic, the role of the NSCDC in curbing oil thefts and illegal bunkering in Nigeria. Yes, and I am not alone in the studio. As I said earlier, I also have here Aminu Ibrahim, who is also my co-anchor. Yes, so on the issue, there are still more questions that we have to ask, and there are still more questions Nigerians would want to ask you too. So I'll leave it to my co-anchor for now.
Yeah, ACG, you talked about the special squad, the Commandant General, the Ajiwa, as I call him, has created. I want you to shed more light on that special squad.
Well, when he came on board, he tried to study the situation in the Corps. And in his own wisdom, he foresee reason why he should form that special squad. Because there were so many complaints of issues that has to do with this vandalization. And he wanted to step also the tempo of the personnel by making sure that they are effective to their duty, of they have raised up to their mandate. So he decided to form that squad, gave them enough vehicles, gave them all the necessary facilities needed for movement and also for feeding. That he wants a result. That was the answer. I want a result. Making sure that wherever vandals are, you should be able to get them for me. Whatever you do, if they are very aggressive, make sure no matter what, you are able to get to the road and get them. So I think within the first 1 month, they surprised almost every one of us. The first one they were in Patako, I think if they don't get anything, they get more than 35 trucks. And all these things I'm saying are on record. More than. And I think from all the result of the arrest they have made, it's surprising. Everyone will tell you this what the civil defense have done. A very chunk number of trucks were arrested. Very good, let me just say, very good quantum number was arrested, and they are sprayed. They are in the yard. They were part of the ones in Port Harcourt. You have them in Delta. You have them in Edo. You have some area of Lagos.
Waiting for prosecution?
In the process. Because as soon as we arrest, I think it doesn't take more than 2 days, we'll call for NNPC. Raise a letter to NNPC to come and verify. After that, we'll start the process. And I'm sure those in court, we don't determine, it is the court that determines. And if they are in court again, we cannot be able to say anything until when finally the case is over.
Yes.
They'll have a very good number of cases.
Yes. One more question. When they are taken to court and they are being prosecuted,
Yes.
the product that is being arrested, what does the court do with it?
Well, I think it's not within my purview to decide for the court. what to do with the product. All we know, whatever
taken them to
punishment
court.
is due for them will be meted by the court. And whatever decision is taken from the court, I have no right to caution them what they have done. So, but I know we have never, most of the cases we take to court, we are the upper hand. We always succeed in prosecuting them. We always prosecute them.
Okay. All right. Yes. Thank you for that. And Nigerians, the phone line is open now. You can call in to ask your questions. Call in to make contributions. The number is 081 88 89 1011. 081 88 89 1011. Right, here, still defenders of our critical infrastructure, happening live on Human Rights Radio and Television, and we have been talking about the role of the NSCDC in curbing oil theft and illegal bunkering in Nigeria. And to do justice to that topic is SCG Phillips Ayuba. And yes, we have talked about these vandalisms, how the NSCDC has been successful, challenges they are facing, and also recent arrests that has also been made too. And even the squad that has also been formed in the NSCDC to ensure that this is brought to the barest minimum. And yes, you have a lot of questions. Call in, ask questions, 081 88 89 1011. So yes, still defenders of our critical infrastructure on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. And yes, we have been asking you questions, but I want to ask you, are there things you feel Nigerians should know, or are there roles you think Nigerians should also play to help the NSCDC discharge this responsibility?
Actually, I have said this earlier. These facilities we are talking about belong to all of us. Or let me say the resources belong to all of us. If it is minerals, resources, all belongs to us. So if somebody is annexing it illegally, it behoves on you to come forward and then make sure that you channel or report to the appropriate security agency. And by so doing, we will find out that we are protecting our property. When you see people doing and you don't complain, then you should know that you are part of those who inflict that injury to the citizens of the country. And I want to say this, that everyone here in Nigeria has a role to play. Your role to play is to jealously guide those amenities or facilities that the government say you should enjoy that will improve the economy. It's just like this is your house and you have light, you're enjoying light. Somebody will come and cut it. I've seen several cases that you see people fighting with NEPA staff. Why are they fighting? Because they don't want to stay in darkness.
Okay, sorry, let's pick this call.
Okay.
Then we'll continue. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
When you say people play and you don't complain.
Okay, still listening to your radio, dear. Please, whenever you call in to the program, try to move away from your radio set and always reduce the volume of your radio. We do not want to hear ourselves, please. Hello, good evening. Move away from your radio.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Welcome to DCI,
Yeah.
Defenders
I
of
want to
Critical
ask, like,
Infrastructure.
the product cash, you know that a poor man doesn't buy a tanker. And a poor man is only maybe to be employee of driving that.
Please, can you tell us your name and where
So
you're calling from?
the people that they bring to justice, they
Hello,
bring
before you
them to
continue,
the.
can you tell us your name and your location?
Yeah, it's Samuel from Suleja.
Okay, please continue.
Yeah. So the people that they bring to justice, is it the driver that will bring to justice? Are they who bought the tanker and give to the driver, send them for bunkering?
Okay.
Because some is a driver that will who, but the owner of the vehicle they will not find him to arrest him. And I know that driver can't go and buy a tanker and use it for bunkering. You don't know where to go and sell it.
Okay.
So, and second one, again, when take them to court, they're supposed to find out how court deal with them last, not to say they leave them for court. Court know what to do. No. At least I bring somebody because how the matter ends are supposed to know about.
Okay.
So now the question where I want to ask the man be that. And that always every masses can put eye say is our property.
Okay. Did you get the?
Yes, I've gotten that. Let me start with number one. You see, the owner of the tanker is not always in the truck. By the time we arrest, we'll have to investigate. He has to tell us the owner. You know, there's no way we can just arrest him and not allow him to go. We'll have to subject him to investigation. He will now tell us the owner of the tanker. Where does he work? Where is the owner of the tanker? Those information, we will use them and then get to the owner of the tanker. And it is from there we start our process of prosecution. I hope you are getting me. So it's not to say we are prosecuting the driver. The driver can serve as a witness because he knows the owner. We cannot allow him to go. He can always attest and say, this is the man that gave me the product. This is the owner of the tanker. And I think we have not done wrong by doing that. But it is better that you have asked, and we needed to clarify you for the purpose of those who don't know that. Are we together?
Yes.
Secondly, the issue of asking the court. You see, what we do after cases is only to demand for classified copy of the document of the case. I hope you are with me. But we cannot go and stand and start telling the judge, how do you do with the case? We can only ask after the case, please give us a copy of the classified document. That's the only what we have to use. I have said it earlier that we don't have the power to determine to the judge what to do. But when you finish, give us the classified document. That we are free to demand. I hope we are together.
Okay. Okay, yes, somewhere from Soleja, I'm sure you've gotten your answer there. Clarifications has been made to that question you asked earlier. And yes, still taking more calls on the program 081-8889-1011. Hello? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Rotimi. I'm calling from Kubwa.
Please, we didn't get your name.
My name is Rotimi. I am calling from Kubwa.
Rotimi from Kubwa. Please go ahead with your questions.
Yeah, the program is very interesting. My question is that these people, there are some people selling gas and kerosene within the community. Like such people, are they not supposed to be arrested?
Okay. People selling gas and kerosene within
such people, were they not supposed to be arrested? That's what I want to know from the commandant.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Your question will be answered. Stay tuned for the answer.
Okay.
All right.
Let me get this. There are people particular that are given papers by DPR to sell gas, to also sell kerosene, I think. That's where I think we have people like peddlers who peddle kerosene. That you see them taking kerosene on tankers and then decide to share it to those who can buy in drums. So with that, I don't think, provided the kerosene is not adulterated, provided it is not from a wrong source. I think if he has the papers of peddling, I don't think we have the right to arrest him. But if you are sure it is from a wrong source, when we are contacted, I assure you they will be arrested. So, and with the situation of the country now, I want to say, though the law did not allow even people to sell petrol on the road, you can still see them. We are enforcers of law. And when we go out now and just start arresting people because they are shortage of oil, whenever you will now start hearing complaints. But when the government say go and do it, we'll go out of our way no matter what to do it, because we are only enforcers, we don't make laws. And I think that will be our position for now.
Okay.
Until maybe when there are genuine cases we believe we can now go and make arrests, we'll go and do. The other, the issue of people who are peddling petrol permitted by government to do, we don't have right over them. We can only have right if you are sure, you know that maybe that kerosene is not.
It's adulterated.
There's one they call, I have forgotten the name from that side, one that maybe can burn somebody. That's locally refined. Then we can come and make the arrest. And even when we make the arrest, we have to take it to either DPR or NNPC to test it and then confirm that it passed the test or failed the test. And I think that's the position.
Okay. All right. Otni, that's the answer there. And yes, still 081 88 89 1011. 081 88 89 1011. Hello. All right, okay, lost this call. Taking more calls on the program Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructures. And if you are just tuning in and you're wondering what is happening, yes, Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructures is a program where we feature gentlemen from the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps who come into the studio to talk to us extensively about the roles of the NSCDC and how they have been performing these roles and how they have been trying to protect critical infrastructures in Nigeria. And then today we are talking about the NSCDC role in curbing oil theft and illegal bunkering in Nigeria. And present in the studio is ACG Phillips Ayuba, who has done justice to that topic. And of course, we also give you the opportunity and the time to call in to ask questions, because this is something that we all have to put hands on deck to ensure we solve. So Nigerians call in and ask your questions. Hello, good evening. All right, lost this one. Feel free to call back once again, 081 88 89 1011. Hello, good evening.
Bro,
Yes, good evening. Welcome to the program.
It's time to call you back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Samuel from Suleja.
Something I want to ask is like anything if a president no give them order to go and arrest, they no people arrest unless they don't give them order different for job they give to them again.
Samuel, can you repeat your question,
No,
please?
I've
you've
gotten, yes.
Huh?
Okay,
I've
Samuel.
gotten what you are trying to say.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the answer.
You see, what I want to say here, every organization is given a tax. That's a mandate. And if the government says, protect this thing, we know we have to protect that thing. When somebody does something illegal, and we know he's supposed to be arrested, we will arrest you. But when it is not illegal, I have said earlier that we don't make laws. We only enforce. Some of these mandates we are maybe performing are mandates that are given to us by the federal government, or let me say by the people of Nigeria, that you should do this. And we are expected to do that which we are said to do. If they say in your mandate go and control traffic. We will know that control of traffic is our mandate. Anywhere we see traffic hold up, we can always go there. Whether we are asked to do or not to do, we know it's our duty to do it. So, like I'm trying to let you know that we are assigned mandate of protecting critical infrastructure, that is critical national assets that has to do with electrical facility or power, whatever, mass and whatever, telecommunication facilities, electrical facilities, pipeline water facilities, we have transport facilities, and we are even talking of pipeline now. All our mandates. Aside that issue that has to do with some of the things we are supposed to do, illegal mining, we still is there to make sure work. Now, if you see it, because it is not written clearly in our mandate that thief, they said any other, if they say with crime, if somebody sees, is it not at least a crime? We can arrest him and then give to the appropriate agency. Do you get it? But once we know you are not offline, there's no way we can arrest you. So please, we are not saying we cannot arrest. We can arrest when we believe you are out of what is expected of a good citizen with integrity to do. We can arrest you.
Okay.
I think that's okay.
Okay, yes. Somewhere from Suleja, thank you for calling back once again, and your question has been answered. Yes, still taking more calls from Nigerians on the program Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructure, 081-8889-1011. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What is your name and where are you calling from? Good evening. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mohammed. I'm calling you from Jua.
Okay, Mohammed, please go ahead.
Concerning what was mentioned earlier, that they should arrest the kerosene sellers and the gas sellers in the villages. Mind you, in Nigeria, that if one needs to be tried with what you are doing to the right, you cannot feed or satisfy.
Mohammed, can you speak louder? We can barely hear you. Okay, Mohammed, feel free to call back once again and please move to a better location. Yes, 081-8889-1011. Yes, welcome back to Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructure. Still taking calls on the program 081-8889-1011. Hello, good evening. Okay, yeah, we lost our call there, 081-8889-1011. Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructures, talking about protecting oil pipelines in Nigeria, and also talking about the role the NSCDC has to play in all of this. Yes, feel free to call in a few minutes to wrap up the program, 081-8889-1011. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, lost that call. Feel free to call back once again, 081-8889-1011. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Eli. I'm calling from Kadokuchi.
Okay, we didn't get your name. Can you say your
Okay,
name?
my name is Eli. I'm calling you from Kadokuchi.
Olai.
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, my question is, how is that about the power sector?
Okay, but we are not discussing power sector today. Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Hello?
you can go ahead.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Go ahead with your question.
Okay. It's about the power sector. We're not having light all the time. So they should help us to ask why is it that the light is not always stable, and sometimes when even they give them the sale, they will not even see the light to the morning. They will bring the light in the night, whereby other people have already asleep. Like me now, I'm a fashion designer. I didn't need to see a light to work in the afternoon, or rather bring the light in the evening. That is really, it's really affecting us. It's affecting us mostly. You should talk about it, please.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Well, let me say this. I think it's not in my place to be able to know whether NEPA ration light for you or the hour they are supposed to give you. But what we're talking about now has to do with vandalizing the NEPA cables. And what we're asking you to do for us is to help inform us whenever you see anybody try to tamper with any NEPA facilities. You see, maybe those things are the main reason why you have not been getting your light. So our request is to help us and make sure that nobody dare tamper with light. Anybody you see, reporting to the appropriate authority.
Okay.
So that will help us, and that will help also to solve your problem.
Okay.
And please let me add this. You know, initially somebody asked, what do you do with cases? How do you get your report? And I was saying, we shall get the document from the court. And the court, after the cases, will ask for true satisfied copies of those of the court judgment or procedures. And that is why I said the classified documents. Those are the documents that we just ask. They give us a true certified copy from the court so that we can keep. Anybody who wants to do it so that against anything that may come up. So please just do well by helping us to make sure the NEPA cables and whatever transformer are not tampered with. Other things, by the special grace of God, there are those who pursue it. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, pick the call and was not saying anything. Yes, still about 7 minutes to wrap up the program, but we can still squeeze in one more call on the program. So 081-8889-1011. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, Hello?
Hello, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, someone calling.
Okay, please go ahead with your question.
There is a question I want to ask as Oga Command did here now. What about those boys, those civil defense boys? Like these are not large. If you go there, they are there with holding Okada, arresting Keke with a motor, collecting money for their hand. Is it part of their job?
In what location?
Madala.
Okay.
I say for Mandala job.
Okay.
Yeah, you see civil defense there. They are there with police, arresting Keke and machine, motor, collecting money for their hand. Is it part of their job?
Okay. All right. Stay tuned for the answer to that question.
Well, I really want to appreciate you for. I want to appreciate you for bringing that to our knowledge. Like I said earlier, we are asked by the appropriate authority to go out to perform a function that the government of that place have either by way of maybe giving an authority that we should be able to do this or that, will come out to do it, except it is stated. If they do that, I think they are not doing the right thing. But when the government say we don't want to see any machine here, anybody who do this should go and pay a fine. You know, there's no way we cannot ask you that machine. They should take you to where you should be able to pay fine. But if on their own, because they are with police, decide to collect anything, I think we don't encourage that. Please, you can always let us know. But because you have informed us now, I want to assure you by tomorrow, we shall be there to check what actually is happening. You say, Madalla. I assured you by tomorrow, go there and say amen. We'll really try to investigate the matter.
All right, let's take this last call. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, yes, 4 minutes to wrap up the program. 081-8889-1011. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. All right, yes, this has been Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructure, happening live on Human Rights Radio and television. And yes, we have been talking about the role of the NSCDC in curbing oil theft and illegal bunkering. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Mohammed, calling from Jiwa.
Okay, Mohammed from Jiwa. Please go ahead with your question.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
I want to ask a question. Okay, what is the high cost? Why is it that the high cost of gas, petrol, and kerosene are going higher every day? And then they are not talking about their one. They are not mentioning of arresting those that are selling black market in the village. And the major causes of these things we did not even know. And I don't think that is what people are supposed to be alert on, not to arrest who is selling black market in the village. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mohammed, for that question.
Well, I think the issue of why are items or the prices of, or a hike in price of items, be it whatever, whether petrol or foodstuff, that is not, I think it's not within our reach. We are not government, and you are just saying, I think the government is hearing you. And I think they stand a better position to be able to tell you. But what we are saying is that every agency has a role it plays.
Okay.
This question, I think you would have asked some standard organization, maybe they will be able to tell you something better.
Okay.
But issue of arrest of those with illegal markets, it is written that you are not supposed to sell oil or petrol illegally. If you want, build a petrol station. That's what the government says. So you don't need to maybe apportion any blame to any security organization if you are arrested. Okay. So you only pray that because of the situation of the country for now, I have said it earlier that you can see we don't go out to arrest. But if government say arrest them because they are also helping to make the price of oil and petrol station high, because they go in the night, give more money, buy it, and they make sure there is shortage in the country, which is not helping matters. Some of you buy, go and hold it. Later, you start releasing it on the road, selling it more than what's supposed to be in the filling stations. And some filling stations intentionally will refuse hold fuel in their dump there and refuse to sell because they know you patronize them in the night. So to now make sure that people are able to enjoy or benefit from the government, what the government said they should do, they will now say, oh, arrest them, or you better leave that work of selling black market. And then first reality of the let me just say, of the country, and then of course so many will be happy if you stop doing that, because that even also causing some danger. Where you keep in your house can cause fire disaster or an inferno. So I hope you are hearing us. So we pray also that you will leave hawking of petrol in your house, in the village or wherever. So thank you.
All right, and I'll take that as a final note from ACG Phillips Ayuba, the operations from Operations NSCDC National Headquarters. Yes, thank you so much, Nigerians, for listening. Thank you so much for asking questions. Thank you so much for contributing. And thank you so much for staying tuned to the station that redefines broadcasting, Human Rights Radio and Television. And yes, this is where we wrap up this edition of Defenders of Our Critical Infrastructure. happening on Human Rights Radio and Television. My name is Harirat Ismaila, and with me here is
Aminu Ibrahim.
All right, Nigerians, thank you so much, and stay tuned for Na Like So Live B that's coming next at Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Thank you for listening.
The building block of any nation is determined by the critical infrastructure in the nation.
Defenders of our critical infrastructures is a program designed to highlight the roles of individual communities and the government in protecting our commonwealth.
Join us every Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. in the evening as we feature members of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps on the program.
Defenders of our critical infrastructure is powered by Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps.
This program is exclusive to